a good way of putting information out there, breaking stories, but also a way of interacting and talking about, you know, whatever's happening in the world at that moment. Where else would you be able to contact someone and say, what do you think about this, what do you think about that, what do you think about the other? There isn't anywhere. So this is an opportunity, yet some people think it's alright to just go and say everything under the sun. Now what you've got to remember is, when you are publishing something on Twitter, you are publishing in the same way I'd be publishing if I wrote an article in a newspaper, or if I went and broadcast on the radio. And I also think if you're not willing to say that what you're saying to somebody's face, you shouldn't be posting it. And I think people need to tweet and post more responsibly. I think that could be the biggest thing. You know, give yourself some time. If you want to just, and this is what I always do, is if something's got me angry, I try to just give myself a few seconds of, okay, is this really what I want to say? Or is it just because I'm frustrated right now? If it's just because you're frustrated, then take a second, think about it, then post it. I know what my strengths are, I know what my weaknesses are. So when people come on and say you're rubbish at doing your job and you're this, that and the other, you know, you're fat, you're ugly, so what? You know, like, am I really that bothered about people saying that? No, not really. That's not going to upset me. What upsets me is when people have brought my family into it, and people have said things about my wife and about my son, and kind of questioned why they would want to be a part of my life. And I think that's something that's really disappointing, that people think it's okay to do that. So the one that, you know, it stays with me to this day, and it wasn't, again, abusive, but it was more the fact that somebody recognised on a Friday night I'd gone out for dinner with my wife rather than watching the Sheffield Wednesday game on the telly. And this was highlighted, and there were God knows how many pages of people saying how unprofessional is he going out on a Friday night when he should have been watching the Wednesday game, at the very least on the TV. It was the first night actually me and my wife had gone out since the birth of our child, yet there was 4 pages about why I was stuffing my fat face, why would she want to be together with me, and why was I such an unprofessional journalist, and why, you know, why were the BBC in this region saddled with somebody that can't be asked to do their job properly. And that's, you know, that kind of hurt a little bit from the standpoint of, first of all, somebody's watching what you're doing and don't come and say anything to you, yet 24 hours later or 12 hours later, or the moment they got home from the Chinese restaurant, they feel it's okay to post it. You know, if they feel that way, then why not come over and say, you know, surprised you're not watching the Wednesday game on the telly? That to me is something that I find really frustrating and disappointing. I guess, you know, there have been some things that have happened where I've been more wary and been more careful what I've tweeted, because I have at times feared for the safety of my wife and son, of people knowing that I wasn't around the house. You know, people know that I live in a village outside Sheffield. Some people seem to think they know exactly which house I live in, which is, again, a little bit frightening. But look, most people are good people, and most people aren't, they're not out to get you. And I walk around the streets, walk around the supermarket, you bump into people and they talk to you about how much they enjoy what you do, or they'll talk to you about Sheffield football, or they'll have a conversation with you. And that's the great bit of being part of this, and that's the great, you know, the upside of social media and Twitter, is the fact that you communicate with people on a regular basis. And there might be 100 people that tell you that they really enjoyed something. One person says something negative, and that tends to be the one thing that will stick in your mind a little bit.